Okay, friends, we are live. It is CFLW, the show for this Monday, November the 17th. Great to see you. Rusty with you here. Hope you had a fantastic weekend. Obviously, the weather was pristine. Coming up in this live stream, we're going to be talking about a cold front that is moving through our area as we speak. We'll look at the appreciable impacts that we could get from that. We'll talk about the temperatures for the week ahead, if there's any chance for rain in the near future. As always, CFLW, the show, is sponsored by the Lean Law Firm of Central Florida. Your hometown homeowners insurance attorneys. They offer free consultation and policy reviews. They do cover the entire state of Florida. So if you live in Florida and you have something to deal with insurance-wise, check them out. They'll walk you through the insurance claim process. Go to leanomnilaw.com for more information. Love to hear from you guys. There I am. How's everyone doing today? Happy Monday. Nancy, how are you? Good afternoon from Wedgefield at 81 degrees with 54% humidity. Yep, just a little bit of sunshine. Hey, got some deer hanging out in the backyard all fall. You got to love that. That's a fantastic, painting the picture, Nancy. I appreciate that. Hey, Chester, good afternoon to you as well. Spring Hill in the house at 80 degrees under partly sunny skies. Let's see. Farah, good afternoon to you as well. Happy Monday to you. Hope you're doing well. Hey, Kyle, how are you? Happy Monday, my friends. Appreciate you guys tuning into the show again. Hope you had a great weekend. Weather-wise, things were absolutely fantastic, weren't they? Absolutely no issues whatsoever. So let's get into what's happening across the area right now. Let's go ahead and take a live look at some of our cameras. Live look outside to Winter Garden on the western side of Orange County. We're looking off towards the west with this shot. And again, just a few thin, low, and mid-level clouds, but that's about it. Notice that there's no vertical development to any of those clouds at the hour. This is an association with the front that's moving into the area right now. And again, we're billowing up just a little bit of cloud coverage here on this Monday afternoon. On over to Winter Park, the Lean Law Cam there. Again, same situation, a lot of blue in the sky, a few clouds moving through as we start to see the front begin to approach and move across the area. And you'll notice a bit of a wind shift out of the north as well once that begins to move through your region. A little bit of a breeze there on the lake at Conway as we look off towards the east from this camera. It's the same situation, guys. You're going to get a trail of some, flat mid-level clouds. There's no lift in the atmosphere. That's one thing. There's very little moisture. It's normal for this time of the year, the amount of moisture that's overhead right now. But when you don't have anything to really take that moisture and lift it, you're not going to get a lot of cloud coverage, and you're certainly not going to get any more rain out of the situation as well. And then a live look outside to the attractions area. Get just a little bit more cloud coverage there, but it's another beautiful day for the attractions, where once again we are going to see fair weather clouds moving through, temperatures that'll be on the comfortable side. Again, your live numbers across Central Florida are scrolling at the bottom of the screen. All right, so let's talk about what's going on with the weather at this point in time. So, I've mentioned this front. Oh, give me 1 second here. Let's get over to this. All right. So I mentioned this front. Well, where is it right now? Well, let's bring on our handy dandy analysis tool. That blue line is going to be your cold front. And so it started off this morning in our far northern areas, and it has basically worked through most of Central Florida. Now, obviously, one of the ways you can tell whether the front has moved through your area or not is if you are getting a bit of a northerly wind. But the one thing that you're not going to be able to tell is if you have any rain, because this is going to be a dry front, guys. Not expecting us to have really any difference as far as that goes. And even then, the winds even south of this even have a touch of a northerly component, meaning that the area south of this. So when you look at Zephyr Hills, they've got a northwest wind. St. Pete right now is going to have a northeast wind. And even down in Sarasota, they have a touch of a variable wind. Now, the winds will freshen a little bit with the front as it comes through, but temperatures are quite lovely at the hour here. Let me get you to your exact number. Excuse me real quick. A little tickle in my throat. Again, appreciate you guys tuning in. Thanks for taking a quick second, hitting the like button for me if you haven't as of yet. And also appreciate you guys jumping into the chat as well. So again, do you see a huge difference north to south with our boundary right now? The answer is no. Appreciably, there is not a lot in the way of any apparent changes to the forecast. Those are your temperatures. These are the winds. There's hardly any gusts whatsoever. Most winds, even as the front is coming in, is going to be 10 to 15 miles an hour at best, if you will. Now, the air is drier. That is the one thing. We will see the air dry out again. So dew points at the hour right along your boundary are mainly in the 60s and a couple of upper 60s, including in Tampa, Sarasota 64, Vero Beach 63. Again, these are your dew points. And then the farther north that you go here into Central Florida, trying to get rid of this little tickle in my throat, which, by the way, just developed. Didn't have it all morning long, and of course, until I come on live with you guys, then I develop it. It happens. But your dew points here, Citrus County, Northern Sumter, Lake, and portions of Volusia County are dipping into the 50s right now. Then you get up in Marion County, and the dew point's only 54. It's only 54 in DeLand, 55 in Daytona Beach, and then you have even drier air in interior sections in the north central part of the state. Gainesville's dew point is in the 40s. St. Augustine is still in the 60s, but obviously we've got some moisture right along the actual coast, so you would expect that. But that's the biggest difference. Temperature-wise, very little change. Wind-wise, not much, just a little bit of a fresher breeze near the front, but that's about it. Drier air, yes. Rain chances, no. No rain chances whatsoever with this front. This is what it looks like across the rest of the southeast. And again, these are your temperatures. Now, the biggest situational change that we've had is that our jet stream is now well north of the area. We have a significant dip in the jet or trough out west, and you can see these winds going right down the west coast, and then this cold front that extends all the way down into North Mexico. This is where we're going to have all the impactful active weather for rain chances, storm chances, and cooler temperatures around this big broad spin. A couple of them out there, but you can see one in the Intermountain West, and then the associated cold front with that. Another plunge of colder air with some snow in the Great Lakes in the Northeast, but we are under a developing area of high pressure, and this high pressure is going to continue to extend and expand. So there is one center noted in the Central Gulf. There's another center right now in the Tennessee and Ohio valleys, and that is blocking all of the weather and the colder air from making an approach to Florida anytime soon. As a matter of fact, temperatures, and I mentioned this on Friday's show, are only likely to continue to slowly climb for the week ahead as we just continue to see high pressure and then just building on those temperatures kind of each and every day with no intrusions of colder air. This might be the last front for a while as well, but the next front that could try to approach for the weekend ahead, so you're talking about another 5 or 6 days, is likely to take about the same form as this front, and that's very little change in our actual temperatures for us here. The only thing that I'm going to note, that if you are an early morning commuter or you're getting out early, taking the kids to school or something like that, is the opportunity for some fog the next couple of mornings, and we'll take a look at those visibilities coming up as well. Hey, Garrett, good afternoon to you as well. Hope you're doing well. Oh, man, I imagine that it is absolutely gorgeous in North Carolina right now. You know, just crisp and cool in the morning hours, pretty pleasant in the afternoon with very low humidity. I mean, that's my kind of weather, 40s, 50s, 60s, just depending on where you are, starting off in the 30s. I like it. Now, if you like the warmer weather, right, and you're not tolerant to some of the cooler conditions, certainly the cooler conditions we had, what, about 10 days ago now, 7-10 days ago, whatever it was, you are going to enjoy the week ahead, because we're going to be talking about a lot of 80s in the forecast here in the short term. It happens this time of the year, guys, where sometimes these fronts get blocked in November, and it takes a while for the pattern to overall change and to get us any cooler air. Let's talk about real quickly the fact that I'm just going to go out to the broad view here. Give me 1 second. I've got these in, I got these kind of in sets here. I'm going to take this spacing and make it a little bit less dense so you guys can see. So again, it's going to take a while for the ridge of high pressure in the eastern third of the United States to break down. So we're in store for warmer than normal temperatures and drier than normal weather for a while to come. This is what it looks like in the 6 to 10 day outlook, right? So this is, again, not through Friday. This is the weekend until just before Thanksgiving Thursday. All right. And it is not just us, but a good chunk of the central and eastern United States on average for the 6 to 10 day time frame are going to see temperatures not only above average, but well above average. Again, we're running, this is not showing you how much above average you're running. This is just the percentile chance that you're either gray at average temperatures over the next 6 to 10 days, or in the blues where you have a chance to be lower than average over the next 6 to 10 days, and the deeper blue that you get, the higher the chance that is. Or you get deeper into the oranges and reds, the higher the chance that you are above average temperature-wise. And so the bottom line is that not just us, but a lot of the eastern two-thirds of the US is likely to be above average temperature-wise starting this weekend towards Thanksgiving Thursday, where it's only the far western half, or excuse me, third of the United States that either has the average chance to be at or above temperatures, or slightly cooler portions of the Pacific Northwest and Southern California and portions of Arizona as well. When we look at the precip at the same time frame here, so you have warmer than normal weather, but you also have active conditions in the plains where we could actually start to see some severe weather risks begin to pop up. We get that sometimes in November with this pattern where things kind of open back up and there's enough moisture in play now where these fronts that come in can really produce some nasty storms, some big hail producers, and even some tornadic possibilities for portions of the central and the southern plains. Now, the farther east that you go, the rain chances tail off, and although I don't expect us to have a drop of rain over the next 5 days, there's an average chance that maybe with the next front or early next week, we could get a little bit of rain. All right, and we'll see how that plays out coming up. But between now and Thanksgiving, guys, I don't expect there to be any big plunges of cooler weather. I don't expect there to be any big plunges and high rain chances out there. And temperatures, even as we push towards Thanksgiving Thursday, are likely to be above average. Could be until after that we see the next big opportunity to see some much cooler air move in. It's just how it plays out. So let's talk about the fog over the next couple days, and then we'll get into the rain chance for you guys and some city by city forecast. So I'm going to bring up the HRRR model here. Let me switch on over to our visibility product. And then just going to single frame it. We'll go to 7 a.m. tomorrow morning. All right, it's a little bit of a weird table, but taking a look at this, I expect there to be patchy, dense fog tomorrow morning. So this is tomorrow morning. Let me get the model timeline up here so you guys can see that. And then let's query some of this. Now, the reds that you see are going to be your high visibility. It is kind of the browns into the grays where we could see the lower visibility. So the model right now wants to favor interior locations, including Orlando. So there is the opportunity, and again, it's not going to be crazy area wide, but locally portions of Metro Orlando could see some patchy fog. And again, that's what the model is showing. The model isn't sitting here, and it's not as precise to be able to say, look, downtown Orlando is going to have a half-mile visibility, but Apopka is going to have 8. What it's saying is that there is the opportunity here in the Metro Orlando area tomorrow morning for some locally dense fog to develop, and where it does, the visibility is likely to be in some spots less than 1/10 of a mile. I would say on average it's 1/4 to a half mile, but if you are an early morning commuter, you have to be aware of the fact that there could be some reduced visibility in the Metro Orlando area and other interior sections of Central Florida. Osceola and Polk County included in this as well. Again, you can see some of the visibilities here getting down to, we'll say, less than 1/10 of a mile. Dade City area, there's another spot, again, just, the model picking out some areas, and where the air is very still and very sheltered, we could see that. Also coastal south of Hillsborough and Tampa Bay, so the Bradenton, Sarasota areas could also see some restricted visibility tomorrow morning. And just don't be surprised if you head out early that you see some of that. Now, hopefully it's not going to last very long. Hopefully it's not going to be very widespread. Winds should be up enough along the immediate East Coast, the I-95, US 1, A1A corridor. We're not expecting a lot of fog there. But this is the time of the year, guys. Now that we've had the time change with the earlier sunrise, we're getting out earlier. We're starting to see, again, lower sun angle, lower daylight hours, and that fog can be an issue from time to time. That's what it looks like tomorrow morning. Let's take a look at what it looks like for your Wednesday morning. And the fog could actually be even a little bit thicker for Wednesday. It's tomorrow and Wednesday mornings that I do expect there to be the thickest fog. Thursday, there could be a little bit more fog as well. But I think it's tomorrow and Wednesday mornings behind this front that we see, again, the opportunity for the thickest fog. Now, again, we look at this. Now you're starting to see some of the areas closer to the coast at least have some, reduced visibility. Still expecting it to be west of the I-95 corridor here for the visibility to be of any big problem. Let's see if we can get this to actually pop up here. Yeah, those gray areas are actually non-existent spots here on the model, but you get the idea. So even here in Brevard County, the HER model wants to paint on pockets of very low visibility and then some restricted visibility in other areas. So just be aware of this. Favoring I-4 East for Wednesday morning. Visibility looks to be much improved overall. I-75 West. Doesn't mean that we're not going to have a couple of spots, especially Marion and Alachua counties. Still could get some spots here of some lower visibility, but overall things should be improving a little bit. One reason why is the winds might be turning a little bit more out of the west, and the winds could freshen up along the west coast just enough. Again, you need that air to be pretty darn still for this fog to develop like this, and I think it's interior and east on Wednesday morning that has the best chance. But you get the idea. There's where we could have some fog. Don't be surprised if you see some dense fog advisories issued from the National Weather Service offices out of Jacksonville, Melbourne, and Tampa for the next couple of mornings, at least in a couple of areas. Again, some restricted visibility of quarter to a half mile, maybe a little bit less than a few areas. But friends, otherwise than that, things look absolutely fantastic temperature-wise over the next couple days. So we continue with that. Let's take a look at some city-by-city forecasts for you. We'll start off in Tampa. Again, I expect in a general sense, mostly sunny skies. From time to time, there could be a little bit of cloud coverage. From time to time, it could be full sun. But overall, we're looking at mostly sunny conditions tomorrow through Thursday. Again, dealing with some coastal fog for Tuesday and Wednesday mornings. Wednesday, it shouldn't be as thick, but there will still be a little bit out there. But otherwise, very, very warm conditions in Tampa the next several days. 84 tomorrow, Wednesday, after morning lows in the lower 60s. Thursday is 63, 85, the daytime high. Again, getting warmer. It's shorts and short sleeves in the afternoon. There's no doubt about it. Maybe you want a light jacket or a windbreaker early in the morning, but that would be about it. Yeah, Farrah, I appreciate you saying that. Again, if you guys are here, I appreciate you tuning in. Thanks for hitting the like button. If you haven't subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. If you haven't, let friends and family know about the channel. You think they might get something out of this, please let them know as well. Of course, we do these live shows on Monday and Friday to kind of keep you guys up to date. And of course, I'm also live, and this is a live-only channel, when there is impactful weather here in Central Florida. We're looking good, again, here in the Orlando metro area as well. Again, fog could be locally dense in some spots the next couple of mornings, so be aware of that. And then it's just some really nice afternoons. Again, highs today will likely top off in the upper 70s to right around 80. Highs starting tomorrow in most spots will be back in the lower 80s, 81 tomorrow in Orlando, 83 Wednesday, 83 on Thursday. Morning lows right around 60 degrees. And again, the air is settled enough where the dew point doesn't necessarily have to be right at the temperature, but we're likely to get very close to that, which is why that fog is going to develop, but still expecting it to be locally dense but patchy. And then not as much fog for Thursday morning, sunny and warm, up to 83 degrees for the daytime high. Slightly cooler weather along the East Coast, but temperatures there will still be very, very pleasant. Again, some patchy fog inland for St. John's and Flagler and Volusia and Brevard counties, Indian River County, of course, as well, especially I-95 west. So some patchy fog in and around some of Daytona Beach, especially inland from the beach itself. And then otherwise just some gorgeous afternoons. 78 the next couple of afternoons, 79 on Thursday and mostly sunny skies. Morning lows that will be in the lower 60s. So again, it's a slow climb temperature-wise. Nothing that is going to get outrageously warm in a hurry, but also temperatures that just, continue to slowly go up. And that's the only direction that they're going to go over the next, what could be, more than a week, right? So I want to now take you guys out to some of the long-term stuff here. I'm going to bring up the GFS model. I'm going to take the GFS and we're going to go to temperatures because even here in the US, when we have the GFS model, we do have a nice high-res version. So let me actually here, GFS high-res. And then I'm going to take it out to Thanksgiving, which is the 27th, correct? Just want to show you guys what we're looking at temperature-wise for the next 10 days, kind of on average. By the way, of course, if you guys have any questions about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. Happy to answer that. Appreciate you guys tuning in for the live version of this. If you're watching the recorded version, of course, when I get done, this becomes a recorded video on the live tab of CFLW. Appreciate you tuning in as well. There's some evergreen stuff here. You don't have to watch it during the live stream, but I really appreciate you guys who do, because, you know, this is why I do this. So we can interact, we can chat, we can talk, we can look at the forecast together. But if you're watching the recorded version and you have a question about the forecast, feel free to drop it in the comments section below. I'm happy to answer that. Appreciate you guys who do that as well. So again, listen, man, if you got any big projects that you need to do outdoors, this is the kind of weather that you want to do it in. Think about the yards a little bit. We might need to kick the sprinklers back on a touch. You know, hopefully you've got the AC units adjusted, you know, where they're not working too hard here. We're going to have enough cool mornings. So you notice that as we get into next week, you start to see a little bit more in the way of those blues beginning to intrude through at least the northern 2/3 of the U.S., okay? There are some signals that the ridge breaks down early next week, but most models keep all of the colder weather away from Florida through Thanksgiving Thursday. Now, we'll talk more about this coming up in subsequent shows. But, you know, I'm not sure if even by Thanksgiving Thursday, we really get the colder weather to come in. You know, at this point in time, if I go back to the GFS model for, and I hate when I do that, it resets its time frame. When I want to query it, it jumps to a different time. This right now would be Thanksgiving afternoon, and you've got lower 80s almost area wide. Nothing but warm conditions. There's very little, and I was looking at some of the other models. I was looking at the European model this morning as well. It keeps low 80s too by Thanksgiving Thursday. So just be aware that if you bought a nice sweater and you're going to be in Central Florida and you want to wear it for Thanksgiving, maybe it's got your turkey sweater, you're going to be sweating if you do so. At this point, I don't expect that cooler plunge of weather to get here yet. Things can change, right? The models can accelerate the time frame of the next cold front coming in. Now, I'll be saying this too, that looking at some of the longer term, and I mean longer term like into December, overall pattern, what we call the long waves, which kind of impact the global scale of the, of our forecast and the jet stream pattern and all of that, there is likely to be a sharper plunge of colder Canadian and Arctic air into the eastern United States in December, much like we had about a week ago, right? Where we had that really sharp turn in our temperatures. But it may not happen until then. There's not a lot of colder air in the forecast for the southern United States through the end of November. So we're talking about, you know, literally teetering on December 1st and then deeper into December where we might have another sharp pattern change to allow some of this colder air to come in. But kind of what you see is what you get for the short term. Anyone have any specific questions about the forecast? Again, we're looking good rain-wise. Our front, we got our live radar on here. Our front is passing through right now. Appreciably, you'll see a little bit of cloud coverage. You'll see temperatures that will hold steady in the afternoon in the upper 70s to right around 80. We all have a bit of a northerly wind outside right now. It could freshen up a touch as that front comes through, but there is no rain whatsoever in association with this front. It is going to be a dry frontal passage across Central Florida for us here. So looking pretty good as far as that goes. Okay, if no one has any other questions about the forecast, like I said, you know, we'll take these things as they come. I do want to make a programming note. I do have a schedule conflict Friday afternoon. So there's not going to be a show Friday at 1 o'clock. I don't know at this point in time whether I will reschedule it or be able to reschedule it for a different time. I will let you guys know. That's one thing that we can do. If you guys are subscribers to the channel, make sure you have notifications on because I can post, content. I can just post messages and I can post graphics. So I'll let you guys know at the latest, I think Thursday, about what I'm going to do, if I can do anything for a Friday show. Maybe that's Thursday night. Maybe it's a little bit later on Friday. I still have to work out some things. We'll see. It's not a guarantee. I will be back regardless of that next Monday at 1 o'clock for CFLW show. And of course, that will be the Thanksgiving week forecast. So that's going to be an important one. We'll talk about the timing of the next front. We'll talk about if there's any chance for rain for the Thanksgiving forecast and Black Friday and all of that coming up as well. So make sure you tune in for that one. But I'll let you guys know about if the possibility of doing a stream on Friday or late Thursday coming up, but it just won't be at the normal scheduled time at 1 o'clock next Friday. All right, guys, appreciate you hitting that like button on the way out. Thanks for subscribing to the channel. You guys have a great rest of your day. Enjoy this beautiful weather, and I'll see you soon back on the channel for the latest forecast. Until then, take care and have a great one, friends.